Morning, class 2. Today we're going to be learning about time. Now, we've learned quite a lot about time throughout our journey in class 2. But you know what? Time is one of those really tricky things because it's unusual, isn't it? Because we work in 60 minutes, and 60 is a completely different number than 100, and usually when we count in numbers we end up in hundreds. So it makes everything a little bit weird and a little bit funky. Don't worry about it if you still don't get time. Time is one of those tricky things. I didn't learn how to tell the time till I was really quite old. And it's really just something that you, as soon as you get it, you really get it. But until you get it, it's really hard. So don't worry too much if you still don't understand how to tell the time. It's hard. Don't worry. Okay. So let's look at our hours first. So these black numbers around our clock tell us the hour, okay, the hour it is. So if I've got my long hand pointing to my 12, that tells me it's an o'clock, okay? If I have my long hand pointing to the 3, that means it is quarter past. If I have my long hand pointing to the 6, that means it is half past. If I have my long hand pointing to the 9, that means it's quarter to. Then it goes back to o'clock again, okay? The hours are pointed to by the short hand on the clock. So if our short hand is pointed to the 1, then it's 1 o'clock. Long hand pointed to the 12, short hand pointed to the 1, 1 o'clock. Long hand pointed to the 12, short hand pointed to the 2, 2 o'clock. Long hand pointed to the 12, short hand pointed to the 3, 3 o'clock, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, when your long hand moves past the 12 though, then we start working in minutes past and minutes to. Okay, this half of the clock is our past side. That side is our past side. This side is our to side. So this basically means that if our long hand, if our minute hand is pointing on this side of the clock, then it's just past the hour. If it's on this side of the clock, then it's going up to the next hour. Okay, past the hour, up to the next hour, past the hour, up to the next hour. When we talk about minutes past, we talk about these little black lines that you can see around that clock. Can you see them right there? Okay, that little black line shows me 1 minute past, 2 minutes past, 3 minutes past, 4 minutes past. Then we get to the 1, it's 5 minutes past. So we can actually just write 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 25. All of those numbers, our counting in 5 numbers, can go just around the outside of our clock to help us remember the minutes past and the minutes to times, okay? So our 1 is 5 minutes past, our 2 is 10 minutes past, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. 60 whole minutes in 1 hour, okay? So, what we need to remember for today's lesson is our 5-minute intervals. We need to remember our counting in 5 numbers around our clock, okay? That is super important for today's work because we are going to be learning how to tell the time to the nearest 5 minutes, okay? To the nearest 5 minutes for today's work. For one smiley face, it's your job to make a clock flower. So basically, you're going to have a plain clock face like this. You're going to have a long hand and a short hand, and you're also going to have lots of little petals in them for your flower, and it's your job to match the flower petal to the hour hand, okay? For two smiley faces, you've got some closest to the closest 5 minutes times to tell. So you've got some clocks that that say the time you need to show, and you need to draw the hands onto your clock. For 3 smiley faces, you've got some time problems to solve.